man, this is weird. I don't know if we're live or not. I'm usually producing it.
Damn. So I might just be talking shit on you earlier and it went live.
Beaver fever. I love reading through the comments.
Are we live?
No, I don't think so.
It says on the YouTube window. Do you see us? Oh, okay, we're live. We're all right. So if you're wondering what the prop Beaver's giving it a run, he's producing this one. It's something we need him to learn how to do. It's very hard. OBS and stream elements are confusing stuff. So I'm just a guest on the show today. But what's up, everybody? It is Thursday, coming off back-to-back winning nights. Yesterday was just 2-2, but one of my wins was the Marlins at plus 155 or whatever, which was nice. So things are going pretty well. Tuesday was a big one too, so I'm on a nice little few-day stretch here. Hopefully that continues. We got two WNBA games, one NBA game, and then 8 MLB games, I believe. So let's go ahead and get started. Prop Beaver, you can go ahead and run the poll for Storm versus Fever. The line is 6. And I don't know, Modai and Josh, I don't know if you guys are prepared to talk about the WNBA. I know Chris is. So, Chris, I don't know if you're going to be carrying the team here.
Yeah, I can do just that. I talked about this one on my show yesterday, and with these WNBA games, you do want to get ahead of the line if you possibly, as much as you possibly can. This line actually opened with the Fever. They were laying a point, which was crazy in my opinion. And this was 2 nights ago, and now you see this line. It's moved 7 points now, which is probably where it should be. 4.5, 5 is where I kind of make the game. It's big injury implications outside of the Fever. It just shouldn't be laying points at all anyway in the first place. This team is 1-7, I think, so far on the season. They have covered some numbers, but they just lost against the Sparks, and the Seattle Storm they're actually trending in the right direction now. It took them a while to kind of get their chemistry together, but Skylar Smith-Diggins and Neko Ogumake, they're balling right now. Joe Lloyd, I do expect them to win this game. I do think that they can win by margin as well. A couple things I want to mention as far as the injury report. So Eric Willer is going to be out. She's like one of the guards for the Indiana Fever. She's definitely a rotational player. So they'll be down her. And then Fagbonley, I think is how you pronounce her name, Timmy Fagbonley. She is a beast. She's an absolute monster. She's their 4th leading scorer for the Fever. Newly inserted into the starting rotation. She's averaging 9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and she has the highest plus minus of any player in Christy Sykes' rotation. And her presence, I think, is going to be extremely missed. They're plus 14 in the offense when she's on the floor, offensive rating, and a minus 28 when she's off the floor defensively. So she has like a 43 so far in the season. She has like a plus 43, minus 43 when she's on or off the floor. And I think that's going to be missed tremendously here. I look at Seattle defensively. They've really picked it up. They've held 4 of their last 5 opponents under their team total, only giving up 73 points per game, which is top 3. Defensively, and opponents are shooting at the 3rd worst effective field goal percentage as well. Indiana, not the same. Their defense is terrible. They're the worst rated defense in the league. They're 10th in opponent effective field goal percentage as well. With the line getting so big, I actually played the money line when it was minus 130 2 nights ago now. But with the line getting so big here, I would look towards Seattle in the first half. You can get them just to be winning by a possession. First half is minus 3. With the spread moving 7 points, I think that's the best way to play it. The Fever, for whatever reason, they get smoked early. Like, they're the worst first half team in the league. It's not even close. And I can see them continuing to struggle here. So I like the Fever. I'm probably going to add the first. I like the Storm. I played them, like I said, before this line got too terribly insane. But if I had to play anything right now, it would be first half minus the 3. I think they'll be winning by more than a possession at halftime.
Yeah, you can get minus 2.5 and minus 115 if you just want to have a little bit of juice on that for the first half.
All right, and I hopefully fixed the audio. I'm not sure. I'm actually listening for a test right now. I want to hear.
Yeah.
No, it's still like scratchy a little bit. It's not him. It's his computer. We need to get a good mic hooked up there, but hopefully it's legible. So let's just move on to the next one, and I'm going to hop over on the other computer to see if I can fix it. So
while you're doing that too, I'll just say I did end up putting in Jewel Lloyd 2+3s with the money line. just because everything you were saying, that defense I started really diving into the W over the weekend and this past weekend. So I'm kind of back. I've got a few season long plays, including Jewel Lloyd, to get to average more than 2.5 threes per game on the season. And so I'm kind of going back to that with this game because it's pretty much the worst defense they'll face 3-point wise. So I'm kind of in for that. Everything around, like Caitlin Clark has been. She has a couple steals per game, but like, yeah, I actually watched the game with her the other night too, and just I've not been impressed defensively. So I juiced up the 2 threes and the money line to be able to do that because I couldn't get the money line until it was like minus 160, like you're saying.
All right, so Jewel Lloyd 2+ made threes in Seattle money line. It looks like I could see there. I'm not betting the Storm, as you guys know. The only WNBA bet I placed in my life was the Storm, and they lost outright when they were favored. So let's move on to the next game.
How long you hold on to that, Cal?
At least
all season.
At least this season.
Yeah, all season.
An elephant never forgets, man.
Call yourself the elephant.
Sparks, LA at Chicago. Sparks coming off a win.
Sparks are coming off a win as 5.5-point dogs. They won outright by 6 against the Indiana Fever. We were just talking about got their revenge because the Fever did beat them for their first win and only win of the season over the weekend. LA still will be shorthanded. No, there's no Lazy Clarendon for this game. I think Osray Stevens will continue to be out as well. You got both of these teams coming off 1 day's rest. Chicago, LA does have a little bit more rest, I think, after the game. Chicago got a big game against the Indiana Fever coming up on Saturday. That's going to be big. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese for all of the. I'm pretty sure that'll be probably the most highly rated game of the season so far. People wanting to see them play. But looking at Chicago, third straight home game, off back-to-back losses as well. They lost to Connecticut and they lost to Seattle. They were 2-point dogs. A lot of money came in on them because they had covered 3 straight spreads. This team had been really, really good. The Seattle, the Chicago Sky have been really, really good, but they've been dogs every game. They've been doing so well, in my opinion. I'm not interested in laying 4.5, 5 points with them here. I haven't bet the game, but if I am betting it, I'm only looking towards the Sparks. I think this is kind of like an evenly matched type game. The Sparks are not the greatest team, but neither is Chicago. Like I said, they've been dogs. Chicago has. And I think that's why they've been, covering numbers. The WNBA is super competitive. I'm not looking into laying, multiple possessions with a team that hasn't been favored at all throughout the season. So I'd only be taking the points here. I didn't end up playing this one, but it'll be LA plus the points or nothing for me. I do think that these are 2 stout defensive teams. Like Teresa Weatherspoon, head coach of the Chicago Sky, will have her team playing really good defense. The game went under against Seattle the other day as well. And the LA Sparks are not a great offensive team. Outside of, De'Erica Hamby and Kia Nurse, like they don't have a lot of consistent offensive production. Like, so one of these quarters go, 16, 17 points. I do think it's a much more of an under type game. The total has dropped from 164 down to 163, 163.5. And I would agree with the movement coming there. So I'd only be taking the dog here plus the 4.5, and I would also be looking towards the under 163.
Josh, do you have anything?
Yeah, I would just jump in and say, like, I'm kind of with you. I think I actually was surprised that it dropped, to be honest, because both these teams have shown like some pretty decent offense as of late. But yeah, I don't think that. What was it? This guy only put up 68 the other night. So the Sparks probably in a better spot there with the way that they're playing on offense. I would agree with that. But I'm mostly on the under with you more than anything, Chris, because like basically both these teams are averaging about 160. I've been way more impressed with defense than offense for both of them too. I only watched one game of each so far, like I said, just jumping in. But I would go with the under still, even at 163.5. I think that's playable down to like 161.5 or so.
Sorry, just got kicked out there for a second. I'm back.
Welcome back, bro.
Yeah.
You can get 162 at DraftKings. Everywhere else is at 161.5.
It dropped already? It did drop.
It went back down. Bro,
okay.
These W lines move at a speed that I've never seen before in any sport ever. Like, unreal.
Yeah, you do got to get ahead for sure. I didn't know it. When I did my show this morning, it was 163.5. I had no idea that it dropped. Okay. Makes a ton of sense.
Modized.
We're working on the audio. I think it's a little better than it was in the beginning, but it's something with, I think I have to reset that computer to factory settings. So that's what it is. But all right, so Chris likes the Sparks. Landers on the under. All right, let's move on to the next one.
NBA, right? There's only two.
NBA.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I was
Mike, check.
waiting for you to get added.
We can
back.
jump into the game too.
Let's go Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
All right,
Chris, you got Timberwolves?
Nah. I'm just
Okay.
kidding.
Okay, Mike, what you got?
I got Dallas.
I was up in this screen. It's the reason why I.
Yeah, go ahead.
I only have one play that I officially locked in on this one. I just took Kyrie Irving over 22.5 points. You can still get it at -125. I would still take it at that number. All's being made about how like the Timberwolves switched up their defense a little bit in Game 4 and how they put Anthony Edwards on Luka and they had a mix of Kyle Anderson, Jaden McDaniels on Kyrie. And he shot 6 of 18, so everybody's going to that, or 6 of 18. He only scored 60 points. He was 6 of 18. Everybody's going to that thinking like, oh, the Timberwolves figured him out. I went on NBA.com and I watched every single one of his misses. 2 of them were like blocked on as he was gathering up. That could have been also classified as a steal as opposed to a missed shot. So it's really 6 of 16 on shots that he took. None of them were that difficult. Kyrie Irving can make those shots. Like if he had that same exact shot profile in Game 5 that he had in Game 4, I would guess that he would go over 22.5 points. He missed 2 wide open 3-pointers off awesome passes from Luka. The one where he drove in and then I don't even know how he found him. Like threw it with his left hand, like behind his back. A wide open above the break 3-pointer that Kyrie missed. In the fourth quarter, when the game was getting a little bit, I mean, not out of hand is a little bit aggressive, but when the Timberwolves were starting to pull away, Kyrie Irving had a wide open corner 3-pointer that he missed. He missed 2 shots around the rim that he normally makes. He missed 2 pull-up 3-pointers over Rudy Gobert, which feels like everybody shoots 100% of those in the playoffs. A couple more mid-range shots. Like, again, if he has that same exact shot profile, I think that he goes over 22.5 points. And the key number here is that he took 16 real shots, 18 if you want to count those 2. Like everyone is going to go, well, he didn't score in the Thunder series. He burned everybody who took his points in the Thunder series. This is not the Thunder series. Like again, he took 18 official shots. He went under 18 shot attempts in every single game except for the last one of the Thunder series. Like he just wasn't shooting. And that was because of the way the Thunder played defense. The Timberwolves let you play straight up, that like they trust their defense. And I'm just going to bet on him to shoot better in Game 5 than he did in Game 4. He was 1 of 6 from deep, again, 6 of 18 or 6 of 16 from the field. And none of those were tightly contested shots that like you can expect Luka to make those game over game. So I actually laddered him up to 25 and to 30 plus as well. I just unit sized that down. If you wanted to take his 3-pointers, you can get over 2.5 or plus money. I didn't want to double down in case he has another off game. I think that's a good look. But yeah, this is the only play that I have locked in so far was the Kyrie points.
I mean, yeah, I think Kyrie Irving bounces back and has a better game, and that's part of the reason I'm on Dallas. Prop Beaver, you can go ahead under pick Kyle up towards the top. Okay, put Dallas for me. Yeah, there's individual performances definitely on the side of Dallas when we're talking regression, but I think a lot of people are going to look at Game 3 and 4 and see that things kind of swung back towards Minnesota. The rebounding, points in the paint specifically, 2 areas they got dominated in the beginning of the series, and that's maybe why we're seeing this line at 4.5, 5. But for me, I don't even care if Dallas isn't going to win the rebounding battle again. If it's going to be close, that's cool with me. And as long as the points in the paint are going to be relatively close, which I think it will be, that's cool with me as well. We're back on the road where Dallas is better and Minnesota is worse here in Minnesota. The spot to bet the Timberwolves all year has been catching points. They're the best team against the spread in the NBA as an underdog. They're also much better I should say much better. They're also been better on the road. They're just 3-4 at home in these playoffs. So I did have Minnesota in Game 4, but if you look at the shooting in that game, I might have been a little lucky to get that cash. Dallas shot terribly, and Minnesota shot 46% from 3 or something like that. So just a little regression swinging back the other way. I feel the right side has to be Dallas catching the points. I also took the money line, but I feel like just taking the points, all these games have been pretty tight. Back and forth. So I feel like the move would be take Dallas with the points. I would imagine a lot of people are doing that, but I don't care. I'm on the Mavs. Go ahead.
It actually moved down. Well, so it's been fluctuating, right? It's 4.5. There was a 5 that I caught last night.
I got a 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought it would get bet down, and we'd be looking at like -2.5 for Minnesota this morning, and it's not moving. So I'm just gonna be as simple as I can. Like, I've got the Mavs plus 4.5. I've got the Mavs -4.5 for -265 as well. Like, I don't understand how this thing swings 9 points when the Mavs have their worst shooting game of the series, the Wolves have their best, and everything was still sort of like hanging in the balance towards the end of the game. Like, Modi even caught himself. He was like, oh, when the Wolves were pulling away, well, they were up by like 7. And so they really never like fully pulled away, like you said, right? And I don't know why they would in this game. If someone's going to come at me with, how much are you giving home court advantage to Minnesota right now? Like, how are we giving them what seems like at least I don't know, 7, like so many points? Like, Dallas goes from -4.5 one game, in a close game loses by 5 at home, where the other team is fighting for their absolute lives. And by the way, Cat hits 3 bailout contested threes. Is that what we're banking on for Minnesota to win a game against us? That's crazy to me. So I mean, I'll just kick it with that, and I have a couple props I feel comfortable with. A couple of guys I was talking to too are like, look, man, you can throw stats all over the place, but like, these books are taking playoff stats and making it the prop line. It's just that simple now. There's enough games in the playoffs that they can rely on postseason stats to give them their lines, right? And Modi kind of pointed out about the first quarter stuff. I know you talk about that, Matt, which is like, you know, they're just taking their total from the game and dividing it by 4 and making it their quarter props. It's the same concept with the playoff long stats, just making that the line now for those of us using data to try to figure it out. And we finally feel like we have, 14, 15 games worth of data that we can use. Now they're like, well, we're just going to make that the line then. So it's been a little bit tough, but I've got Dallas on that. And then I'm taking Conley over 20.5 PRA, and I'm taking Luka under 4.5 turnovers. And I'm just drinking a ton of juice on that. So brief explanations. Mike Conley's the adult in the room, man. That's really that simple. Like, this is the only dude I really trust at this point, who's running pick and rolls and getting the usage that you need to feel comfortable. The touches are there. The only person obviously touching the ball more is Ant. So the amount that he's sort of bailing out, after he took 6 shots in the first game of this series, he was like, either he told himself or also other people told him, like, you need to shoot more, bro. We can't have you sort of just being passive, standing back and watching Ant do everything. Like, you need to be taking at least like 10 to 12 shots. And that should be good to get him. I like the points the most out of that PRA, but that should be good to get him everything else. And then for Luka, man, he's just a computer. He doesn't turn the ball over against this team. So I actually went under on the turnover.
Oh, that's supposed to be under?
Yeah. No
worries. I made that graphic, so I messed
you're
it up.
good, dude. Yeah. I'm sure everybody here is listening intently to what I'm saying, so much so that they know what I'm talking about. Because nobody would ever accuse anybody of this show of not listening, just reading the screen. But yeah, like for him, he has done this. He's gone under this number 7 out of 8 times against the Mavs, the Wolves, dating back to earlier this season. And then with Kyrie on the floor, he has not gone over this number against the Wolves in 6 career games playing with Kyrie against Minnesota. And that's in part because it's like your turn, my turn, your half, my half. And plus, he's looking to shoot against this team a lot. I know the assists have been really like up and down for him. But like, really, it's at this point, it's like, he's looking to shoot. He just had a bad shooting game last game. More shots, fewer passes, which is what he does against the Wolves, equals less opportunities for turnovers. Ant being on him is less of a pain in the butt than Jaden McDaniels in some ways as far as turnovers go, right? Like, Jaden McDaniels is way longer and rangier. So with Ant on him, he's got the height advantage. He can pass over him much more easily. I still like the under turnovers for some bad juice, but I'll take it.
All right. Chris, what are your thoughts?
It's kind of scary that we're all on the same side, but it's only Dallas with me too. Only Dallas plus the 4.5 here. I think you laid out all you guys laid out a lot of great points, but what you didn't say, I'll just piggyback off what you didn't say, Kyle. So first, there's the regression that's coming from Cat and Ant, in my opinion. They combined for 54 points and shot above 50%. First time in the series that they've been able to do that. And you mentioned it, Josh. Does Karl Anthony Towns even stay in the game due to foul trouble? Like, can we even bank on that? I'm not quite sure. Dallas cooled off a lot, as Kyle mentioned, from game 3 to game 4. They shot 50% in game 3. And then only 35% in game 4. PJ Washington missed a lot of those shots. He was 2 for 9 from 3. Kyrie was only 1 for 6. Modi mentioned him only being 6 for 18 from the floor, just 16 points. So I think we see the regression there. But the biggest thing that really stood out to me was the points off turnovers. Dallas has been so good at taking care of the basketball and not giving up a bunch of points up to turnovers. If we remember back to last series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Thunder, I think, led the league in points off turnovers this year. And Dallas did an excellent job. That was one of the reasons why the Thunder team total kept going under, because they never got a chance to really get out and run in transition. Dallas turned the ball over 14 times, and it led to 30 Minnesota points. By far, like that's like almost as many points as they had combined in all three of the first games. So a big outlier there. I think Dallas, limits the turnovers. And if I'm getting 4.5 with a team that's already won like twice in Minnesota, I think I got to take it. Also, Dallas has been excellent off a loss. They're 4-0 straight up and against the number in their last 4 games coming off a loss in the playoffs. What that tells me is that Coach Kidd, makes the necessary adjustments. They only allow 99 points per game in this spot. All 4 of their opponents have gone under their team total when they're coming off a loss. So it's defensive adjustments that they made as well. And we're expecting a regression anyway from Karl-Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards just a tad bit. Anthony Edwards almost had a triple-double. He missed about 1 assist. So not to say that these guys won't play hard. I just don't think that Dallas is going to lose this game. So I like the +4. I'm also probably going to put a little bit on the money line with you guys.
Yeah, and you mentioned it. Dallas coming off a loss, but it's not just Dallas coming off a loss. They're also the best road team in the NBA against the spread. And people in the comments had mentioned, like, I guess they didn't see the defensive adjustments Minnesota made. Man, they shot 46% from 3 and still only won by 5 points. Like, it wasn't like that wasn't a Minnesota domination. In fact, there was a 3-point game with like 8 seconds left. So yeah, if these are the defensive adjustments and Minnesota needs to shoot 46% from 3 to win this, I'm willing to bet against that, because this is not a great 3-point shooting team. So even if these defensive adjustments you're alleging exist, I'm still willing to bet against it because we barely won. So, yeah.
Hey, Kyle, you got to get that court show up and coming, because I see you using the verbiage already.
Yeah,
for real. That was like the equivalent of like, I did my own research, and this is what I found.
Yeah, that was, oh my god,
and
that
also,
was a crazy one.
To help the Mavericks point, like the reason why that the Timberwolves have been out rebounding and out. Are scoring them in the paint the last game and a half. When did Derek Lively get hurt? You can draw exact line in the sand of when Derek Lively got hurt. His rim protection, he's so good in the short roll, so much better than Gafford. Gafford, his decision isn't just dunk, he's gonna make the wrong one or he's gonna turn it over. Lively's so much better with that. So assuming he plays, which I know he's expected to play, and assuming he's healthy, I didn't want to put any props on him because I was too scared off. But if he plays and he's healthy, he's very valuable to the Mavericks.
Crazy.
All right. So that's it for NBA. I think, by the way, that the audio is about to fix itself. I think we fixed it, but these guys were already in the room. I think that's the problem. So I think now that we move on to baseball and bring in, Modi, you should probably, all right, so switch it over to baseball. Game 4, prop Beaver. There we go. There I am. So now, Chris, thanks for joining, man. Apologize for the technical difficulties. We're trying to get it running on 2 computers here. It's first time for everything.
Yeah, it happens, Kyle. Don't worry about it. Best of luck today, fellas, and to the community, man. Appreciate you having me on, Kyle.
Later, Josh. All right. So me and Modi should both leave and come back in, but someone has to stay, so there's just no one on screen. All right, Modi, you leave and come back in first.
Okay. All right.
Just be a blank screen. Yeah, it's going to make things so much better if we can produce from 2 different computers. So right now we're running it from the second computer, not this one. It limits me knowing that I have to produce the show from this computer every time. All right, so Modi's back in. Yeah, just repaste this link into the camera. That should be good. All right. Oh, I need to send Toast the link too. So I'm going to quit out and send Toast the link. Be right back.
To answer a question, Michael Dost, I do have a future on the Phillies to win a World Series. That's honestly just a homer pick. I do that for the Eagles and the Phillies every year. Just if they win, I am really happy and I get some money. It worked out. I put a future on the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so that worked out. But yeah, I do have a future on them. I could probably cash out for positive value, but I'm not going to. For a profit. apparently people are saying the audio is already better, so we're good.
Yeah, I think it's I know what it was. So Prop Beaver, because he's the host of the thing, you have to make sure that he has a mic plugged in and it's muted. And when everyone joined, we didn't have that set up. And then when I fixed it, you guys were already in. So I think it should be good. Toast is joining right now. There he is.
I see. There's something in the background.
Yeah, that's me echoing on.
Oh, okay.
All right. Prop Beaver, go to the OBS Ninja and see if you can find a way to mute your mic. I see it right at the bottom. Left. No, there. How's that?
Way better.
My audio is still bad.
Yeah,
that might have just fixed it, honestly. No, it's the same thing for them. I don't know. It's better for us, but whatever. Let's just freaking talk about the games. I'll figure out a way to fix this after. All right. Cubs, Brewers. I bet this game. I bet Milwaukee. The only reason that this price isn't more ridiculous than this is there's a perceived starting pitching advantage with the Cubs with Tyone, but Tyone hasn't been pitching well. Look, I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you that Colin Ray can be relied on, but you know what? The Cubs haven't really been hitting at all. A home start against the Cubs. If there's any spot for a bad pitcher to put together a decent performance, it's here. Not to mention, I just said, I think it's 3 bad starts in a row for Tyone. The Cubs bats coming off a hot one last night where they put up 10 runs off a really good pitcher too. They rocked in Managa. So I expect the Cubs to get to Tyone. Both bullpens are in good shape. This is just a straight up bet on a better team at home. There's no, I don't think this is really a spot play or any extenuating circumstances. I think the Brewers are better than the Cubs. They're at home, and I'm taking them. I bet this already. I got it at, I think I got it at minus 122. Host. Muted.
Couldn't agree more. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what the audio is. It's like I can hear it fine. Just like it's like a crackle. But anyway, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was on the Brewers last night. Going right back to him today. Is Colin Ray a bet-on pitcher? Absolutely not. 3 of his last 4 starts have been really bad. But I will say the Pittsburgh start at home wasn't as terrible as it might look. 6 innings, 3 runs. At home against Tampa, 6 innings, no runs. In his last start against Chicago last year, he went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, and 6 strikeouts. I don't think that Tyone is nearly as bad as what he has shown like on the road at Atlanta, but at the same time, Milwaukee has seen him multiple times last year. This is our second time seeing him this year as well. I just don't really like that spot for the Cubs right now. So, and not to mention the fact that Cubs bullpen, where I really think they can really struggle at times. The only people in that bullpen that I even trust really is Mark Leiter, and he's went 3 of the last 5 days. So, again, the bullpen is not taxed for the Cubs, but I just feel like this is way too cheap of a price with a Milwaukee team that seems to play pretty damn good in their home building. So, getting Milwaukee under minus 130, I just thought was way too cheap.
Oh, you got a minus 130. That means I got some CLV.
No, I said getting them under minus 130.
Oh, under 30. Right. Okay. Cool. Modi?
Yeah, strikeout prop, Tyone under 4.5 strikeouts. It's at plus 125, and I have no idea why it's priced at plus 125. That's what it was at Bet365. I locked it in this morning. I put a full unit on it. For like normally when I do these strikeout props, I look for the team, and I'm like, okay, this team strikes out a lot. Let's look at the pitchers over it. Then the opposite for a team that doesn't strike out a lot. I'm doing the opposite here. I'm just fading Tyone. He's gone over this number in 1 of his 7 starts. And of the 6 that he went under, only 3 times did he even get to 4 strikeouts. Like, I have no idea what the books are doing with this price. Pricing it at 4.5, let alone having the under at plus 125. It should be like minus 130. Normally when I see that, I get scared off, but I don't really know what the books are doing here. The Brewers are average when it comes to striking out. Like on the year, team strikeout rate of 23.3%. That's average. That's the 14th in the MLB. Over the last 2 weeks, they're striking out a little bit less, which is good. Team strikeout rate of 22.3%. That's 16th in the MLB. They only have 2 guys in their lineup that are considered like strikeout guys, like awful strikeout rate, which is 27.5% or worse. The other 6 are all at 21% or lower. We're going to get into it, but you compare that to the Mariners. They have 8 guys that strike out 25% or more. And then the Brewers only have 3. And then looking at Taillon, strikeout rate of 15.2%. That's the 3rd lowest in the MLB. Swinging strike rate, 7.9%. That's the 7th lowest in the MLB. Called strike plus whiff rate, 26.1%, 15th lowest in the MLB. Like, I just see in no scenario that he gets to 5 strikeouts in this one. I don't understand the odds. So I'll gladly take advantage, and that's where I went with this one.
Sorry, I was just trying something on Prop Beaver's computer to fix the audio. Not sure if it worked. All right. So you got Taillon under 4.5 strikeouts?
Yep.
I'm also playing under 8.5.
In this one, under?
Yeah.
So it's a plus 110 now, and I would still take it at plus 110. I still think that's a good price.
I think I just fixed the audio. Someone said audio good. Someone saying the poll. I'm gonna hop over on that. Audio. Wait. It's better. I don't think it's perfect yet. All right, let's go to the next game, Prop Beaver.
Modi, talk for a second.
Yeah. What's up? Is it any better?
Yeah, I think it's a little better. Still not perfect. Whatever. It's legible for today.
It's way better.
Okay, so we got Oakland on the road in Tampa. And Toast, we actually didn't talk this morning. There's 8 games on the board. I could have bet 7 of them. I only have 3 bets down, but I found a bet I liked in every single one except this one. Well, at the time when I looked at it this morning, I don't even think we knew Hogan Harris was even pitching. So this is a pass for me, but I think it's the only one that I really don't have anything to say about.
Yeah, still trying to play a little bit catch up this morning, but obviously this, and then on my Minnesota minus 120, it's minus 160 now. Something happened. I don't know what.
Wait. The Twins is minus 160?
Sick of that scratch.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like, I'm like doing my write up, and then I was like, fuck, I can't give this out. Okay. Again, I feel the same way as yesterday, guys. I do not lay juice with this Tampa Bay team. It's Oakland or pass. I have not bet it yet. Probably not going to bet it because Hogan Harris is a lefty. That's actually terrible. I understand that Sean Armstrong is pretty damn bad himself. But again, I don't know about after last night. I don't know if I can lose 2 out of 3 with Oakland. So not to mention the fact that Oakland's bullpen's pretty taxed. Miller and Eckridge are okay, but everybody else has went a lot. Again, I do not lay juice with this Tampa Bay team at all. But I guess
Oakland or pass?
Yeah, Oakland or pass.
Yeah. Modi, what about you?
I didn't have anything. I didn't even know who was starting for the A's, so I passed.
All right. Let's go on to the next one. Royals Twins, and I really like the Twins. In fact, if I was to place a 4th bet today, it probably would have been the Twins. But now that it's at minus 160 and there's no Brady Singer, it would probably be at this price. It would probably be Royals or pass, to be honest. But I don't have anything here. I really liked it. I was strongly considering the Twins with Paddock against Singer at minus 125. But now I gotta pass with the pitching change.
Yeah, I had Singer under hits allowed. He got scratched like 10 minutes before we hopped on, so I also got nothing for this game.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought Singer was going to get taxed. So yeah, I was all over Minnesota this morning.
I was thinking.
So yeah, I need to take a look at what Daniel Lynch has done. I know he had 1 start at home against Texas where he looked decent. I don't know too much about his road numbers. I do know that last year, towards the end of the year, he wasn't terrible on the road. 3 starts, 1 at Detroit, 1 at Tampa, 1 at Cleveland, 13, 20 total innings, only 4 runs. So yeah, really not terrible numbers from Daniel Lynch. Again, I don't know what to expect from him though this year. So yeah, again, it's Twins or pass. I'm not laying minus 1.5 though with this Twins team. That I can assure you. So.
Yeah, no way. And I think the Twins will get to Lynch too. It's from a righty to a lefty. I think they'll still get to him. But so I think Twins win the game, but no way I bet it.
Correct.
Here we go, Toast. Prop Beaver, put up a Houston graphic for me.
I've been talking about playing Houston since last night, bro.
For real? Well, here's the thing. Dude. A lot of people aren't going to like. My name's Kyle. Pick Kyle. All right. So because I do this every day, when I see him doing it down there, it's hard not to be like, no, click this. So I'm on the Astros here, and look, I know a lot of people are not gonna like this one because yesterday I know a lot of people were on Houston. A lot of people in the Discord were on Houston. Toast was on Houston, and it was a heartbreaker. They should have won in the 9th inning. They ended up losing, and there was a lot of upset people that had lost some money on Houston. So I know a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to the Stros. And I know, look, it's Arrighetti versus Gilbert, but it's the Stros at plus 120. And if you look at, because I'm not producing, I can't share my screen, but go to StatMuse and type in RHP SP game logs versus Mariners. Look at what righty starters are doing to this team. They are not touching right-handed pitching. So I know like a lot of people are factoring in, Gilbert versus Arrighetti, huge starting pitching advantage. Yeah, but Arrighetti might throw a gem here because the Mariners aren't touching anybody that throws with their right arm. So if you take away the starting pitching advantage because of how bad the Mariners bats have been against righties, I think it evens the playing field out. Got to play the Stros here at plus 120, coming off back-to-back losses to this team. So I'm on Houston, plus 120. I'm in.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I feel like last night was just really unlucky. I feel like Seattle's won all 3 of these games by essentially variance. I mean, I hate using that word because it's used so much, but that's the only way to really explain these last 3 games. So there's not 1 second of me regrets my bet last night. I still feel like I was on the right side with the wrong result. And I said last night that I was going right back to Houston today, and I feel like I said, I feel the exact same. Spencer Arrighetti has had 3 starts on the road this year. On the road in Chicago, 3 1/3, 7 hits, 4 runs. That's really bad. On the road against New York, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. That's bad. On the road in Oakland, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. That's not great. But I will say this is a completely different situation between going on the road to Wrigley, on the road to Yankee Stadium, and then facing an Oakland team that's way better than Seattle, especially at this point in time, hitting the ball way better than Seattle is, especially from the right side of the plate. I'll take my chances there with Spencer Arrighetti against this Mariners team during the day that obviously Prop Beaver and everybody else have illustrated very well that they struggle during the day. Is Logan Gilbert my guy? Yeah, I love Logan Gilbert. But the thing is that I love Logan Gilbert on the road. His last 2 home starts, definitely not the same dominant guy he was on the road. At home against Kansas City, 6 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. At home against Arizona, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. That one was much better. But he hasn't faced this Houston team at home since 2022. They always try to set Logan Gilbert up on the road against Houston. Home is not his best split. I am well aware that Seattle has faced or has beat Houston a lot over the last year and a half. I'm well aware of that. And if you want to make a bet because of that, so be it. But like I said, I felt like I was on the right side yesterday. Wrong result. I have no problem going right back to Houston at plus money because because of not that I'm making fun of anybody, but so much I saw was, oh my God, I can't wait to smash the Mariners again. This team is dead. Yeah.
Prop Beaver's cracking up. Modi, do you agree with this? Stros?
I would agree with the Stros. I have Arrighetti over strikeouts. The thing with him is so over 5.5 is juiced to like minus 148. I normally don't play anything that high. I did for this one, and then I also put a half unit on him to get to 7+ as well. So if you'd rather not drink the minus 148, take 7+. It's plus 142 at FanDuel. It's just fading the Mariners lineup. Like they strike out an absurd rate against right-handed pitching. They have the highest strikeout rate on the season against right-handed pitching at 29%. Over the last 2 weeks, they're at a worse number of 29.6%. They're the only team above 28% strikeout rate over the last 2 weeks, let alone even above 29%. They have 4 guys in their lineup on the year that strike out 30% of the time or worse. They have another 4 on the year that are 25% or worse. That's 8 of their 9 batters that strike out at either an awful rate or at a below average rate. It's just terrible how often they strike out. And like Arrighetti is not great by any means, but he does have decent strikeout stuff. He either gets hit up or he gets strikeouts. That's how it works. But he has gone over this number in 4 of his last 6 starts. In 2 of them, he did get to 7, so he hit the ladder prop. Strikeout rate is 24.3%, which is like top 30, top 35 in the MLB. Swinging strike rate, same thing, 11.9%, top 30. And then Justin Verlander last night struck out 9 Astros. Not Ben Brown, Hunter Brown, the one before, 8 or 9 strikeouts against the Mariners. Like, they just strike out a ton. So yeah, that's where I went. Like, I think you could ladder him all the way up to 9 for this one. I put the full unit on the 5.5 you see on the screen here, and then I put a half unit on 7+ as well.
You know what you just said about the Mariners, Toast, that reminds me of so this is the day I knew I was done with sports talk radio. It was probably about 7-8 years ago, and I was listening to I'm in New Jersey, so I was listening to The Fan, and hold on one second. Okay. So I was listening to The Fan, and they were talking about the Nets, and the Nets had won a game. It was the Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce years, and then the Joe Johnson made a shot at the end of the game to win. They won like 105-104, and the post game was like, this Nets team, they're really coming together. And it was like a whole half-hour segment about a positive for the Nets. 2 nights later, they play again. Paul Pierce misses a shot. They lose 108-107. The entire broadcast is like, this Nets team is just not getting it together. And it was like, dude, it's the same game. They just like, and that's exactly where people just get so harped on like the final score and the result. Like, you mean to tell me if that run comes home in the bottom of the 9th, all of a sudden your Astros, your opinion on the Astros completely changes? Like, one little play one play obviously is huge. It could determine the result, but it shouldn't heavily influence your analysis of the game, if that makes any sense to some of you. But that's when I was like, okay, I am done with sports talk radio, because this is insane. Literally one shot goes in and the entire analysis of the game change. All right. Sorry about that rant.
I'm surprised, really quickly. I'm surprised you don't listen more, because I love to call in and just take a poo.
I already know that you're the type that calls in all the time.
Oh my God.
Posty from Anchorage.
I love it. Oh, I love it. I'm like, okay, this is why your point was wrong 5 different ways. Here you go. Here's them versus right-handed pitching over the last 17 days. Like, oh my God, I love it.
You know, the hosts probably roll their eyes like, oh God, here comes Toasty from Anchorage.
Oh yeah, they know who I am.
Oh, that's funny.
That guy, bro. All right, so next game up is Detroit, Boston, and I think Toast is probably on the same side. I didn't bet this one, but this is another one that I liked. I really wanted to get to the Tigers here. So here's what I was circling. Tigers, or either that or possibly a Boston team total under. That's what I was back and forth. It didn't make my ticket. I have 3 bets, and this isn't one of them. But I think Flaherty's about to pitch really well here today. And you know what? This is actually the nice part about not producing. I could literally pull up my notes. Wow. Usually I'm not able to do that. I got to freestyle it. But yeah, I think Flaherty's about to pitch really well. And 1 second. I can't see the Detroit, Boston.
There's another team later, Sauce, that we got our plus money on too, that everybody's gonna hate.
Oh yeah. So here's the reason that I didn't bet it, though. By the way, I think there's a chance Pivetta pitches really well here. I think we can put the whole Nick Pivetta, we fade him at Fenway. I think that we could put that in the past, because he's had a couple good starts at Fenway recently. He's actually been pretty good since returning to the rotation. Detroit has been hitting, but I don't have a ton of faith in the Tigers getting to Pivetta. But I think Flaherty will absolutely deal, and at this price, I think the Tigers would be the play, and I think Boston's going to be held to a low number. So, Prop, if you could put a Tigers graphic up for me, because that's the way I would play it. I didn't bet it, but Tigers are passed for me.
Yeah, I will be betting the Tigers. Didn't bet it yet. I was waiting to see if I thought I might be able to get a little bit of a better number. I can't remember if it was actually plus money or not last night. I can't remember if I looked. But regardless, I will be on the Tigers. I love playing dirty water on the road. At home, 11-15 this year. And it was kind of 3 of those last wins at home were against it in that Tampa Bay series, where it seems like they just really had have Tampa Bay's number this year. Again, I'm not trying to say that those wins don't count or anything like that, but I just don't put too much stock into that. This Detroit team definitely can be, I guess, a box of chocolate at times. You really never know what you're going to get. But I will say that Jack Flaherty probably has this game circled. Boston really got to him last year, and he's really starting to figure things out this year, especially in the K department. And if I think that if he's being able to get all those Ks, I think he's going to be able to pitch well today here in Boston. I understand that Nick Pivetta has been better. I'm still not at a point where I trust him at Fenway. 2 starts in Fenway this year.
One was bad, yeah.
Well, one was good, one was bad. So it's a mixed bag, but it's 8 total innings, 11 hits, 7 runs. Again, I'm not trying to make a case that I think the Tigers are going to get to Nick Pivetta. I wouldn't mind an under here. It's 7 for a reason in Fenway. That's very clear. So, but I do trust this this Detroit team a little bit more than I trust this Boston team. Like I said, guys, I really don't like playing Boston at home. They've been bad at home for a while now. It's just not a team I'm trying to back. So if you're going to give me a plus money Detroit team with, I think, as good as starting pitching and probably just as good, if not better, bullpen.
I don't know though. I didn't mention that. Tigers bullpen hasn't quite been the same recently.
I know, but you're right, 100% right about that. But I think now that they sent Alex Lang down, I think they've been performing a little bit better. I feel like they've gotten the cancer out. We'll see.
If they put Chafin in the game, I'll cash out of my.
I'm gonna give it out. The only thing I want to comment on is people like talking about units. Like I hate when people say half unit when there's no standard for units. That's literally what the point of a unit is. It's standardized. So what 1 unit is for someone.
Definition of what a unit is.
Yeah. So, $100 for me could be 10 units for someone else where that's my unit. So I just wanted to comment on that. Like 1 unit is just what your like percentage of your bankroll. Half unit is just half that. So that's all I wanted to comment on is because
everyone has 100 units. Literally everyone in the world has 100 units right now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I just came up.
So do we have a graphic for that lean you just gave out, Modai?
No, I didn't send it over. I officially passed.
All right, cool. Should we talk snakes?
I'd love to. What's your opinion in this game?
I bet it.
Who?
Not the Mets.
Really?
I'm on the snakes.
Huh.
Okay, so look, I actually think there's a chance the Mets get to Gallen, and I actually think there's a chance Christian Scott deals. And you might be thinking, what the hell? Then why did you bet Arizona? The Mets bullpen, not only is it probably the worst bullpen in baseball right now or bottom 5, but they are taxed beyond all hell. Who the hell is pitching innings 6 through 9 for the Mets in this game? The answer is we'll find out because they are so taxed. And look, if you don't want to play the D-backs, maybe you pass and buy in on Arizona live. Maybe the Mets have a nice 2-1 lead because the second half of this game, the Mets have nobody to pitch. And look, remember, Diaz is on the IL now, or the Phantom IL, as Prop Beaver likes to call it. So he's on the IL. And not only that, the arms they do have are taxed. So this is a bet on Arizona. I bet Arizona, but it's not backing Gallen. And it's not fading Scott. It's literally the second half of this game. It's like such an advantage for the Snakes here.
So I haven't bet New York yet, but now that I can see the bullpen being super bad, I'm going to play Mets team total over 3.5 at plus 120.
I wouldn't hate a Mets first 5, Toast.
You took the words out of my mouth, and you're going to give me Mets money line minus 105 in the first 5. I think that's very clear that the books are kind of worried about their first 5 part of this game. So Mets first 5 money line at minus 105 on Caesars, and Mets team total over 3.5. Yeah, I get it. They suck. They can't pitch. They can't hit. They can't do anything. Zach Gallen should come in here and just throw a game. So the books are giving away free money at minus 120. So bet it up. But I will be on the Mets here today, and I'm ready for some pain.
Yeah, Prop Beaver, I think that text thing you're typing in, you moved off the screen. So I would use pick 2, the text template pick 2, because that one, yeah, see, that's right in the right spot. So yeah, so type it in there. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Modai.
Yeah, I guess I'm the opposite of you guys. I have Zach Gallen under 2.5 earned runs. Definitely fading recent results with this one. He did get hit up in his last 2 starts. He gave up 3 runs in each, and he's been pretty hit or miss this year. He's gone over/under in exactly half his starts in 5 of 10. And again, he did go over in the last 2. So I'm basically just betting on some regression, a little bit back to the mean. Like his overall stats aren't terrible. ERA 3.12, xERA 3.89. FIP of 3.23x, FIP of 3.27, so hasn't gotten really excessively lucky or unlucky. Sierra 3.37, which is pretty good, above average number. And he did get rocked in his in his last start against the Mets last season. But his previous 2 starts prior to that, he only gave up 1 combined run. And the Mets offense isn't terrible. Like they're a little bit above average, not an offense that I'm wildly scared of either. WRC plus of 104, that's a little bit above average. That's 12th in the MLB, 15th ranked WOBA, 15th ranked WRAA, 14th ranked OPS, 13th ranked slugging, So they're not terrible. They're also not a top 5 unit. So really, I'm just kind of betting on the regression to the mean a little bit from Zach Gallen, under 2.5 earned runs. But like I said, he did get hit up in the last 2 games, so I get that. I get why you guys are thinking the opposite, but that's right.
No. I mean, I'm not.
I think the Mets can get to him because they slaughtered him last year for 8 hits on 7 runs.
Also, the Mets are the type of lineup that it not against a lefty, but when they're cold, they'll show up against a good righty. Like we see that all the time, where it's like, fade the Mets, and then they put up 7 on glass now. So this could be like that, and I don't think the Mets necessarily get blanked, but I think the second half of this game is such a huge advantage, and I also don't think I think Gallen could also deal. So I think overall at -120, I got a good price on this, and I'm fading my guys.
Gallen's had 2 good road starts back to back. I have a hard time believing it.
I saw that. He's actually been like better on the road recently, Gallen. All right. Braves, Nats, and
it also helps when you go on the road to Seattle and San Francisco.
Yeah, that'll help. Prop Beaver's putting the poll up now. But when you get back, Prop Beaver, you could throw a Nats money line graphic in front of me it's Nats or pass. How could it be anything other than that? I mean,
I'm like looking at this number like, what am I missing?
Yeah, what's going on? How could you possibly lay -195 with the Braves? Is this guy Kerr pitching or is it Lopez?
It should be Ronaldo Lopez.
I think it's Lopez, yeah.
But I think Kerr is starting and Lopez is the primary. I think.
Yeah.
He's an opener. No.
I think unless they changed it in the last hour. Yeah,
See,
Action
RotoWire has Kerr.
Baseball
Reference has Lopez.
So I just checked. ESPN, RotoWire, Action Network all have Kerr.
MLB has Lopez. So
it must be a starter and then a primary. It has to be.
Yeah.
But usually when they have that, it's on RotoWire. So that's the only thing that's like tripping me up about that. I really, honestly, though, it doesn't matter if it's Lopez or Kerr. This number's still ridiculous. Like
I know. What's going on?
Lopez went 4 2/3 his last start. I mean, I'm not super worried about it, but yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So it'd be Nats or pass for you, right?
Yes, 100%.
It's crazy.
I'm going to bet the Nats. They have a full bullpen. The only person that's went 2 of the last 3 days is Hunter Harvey. So Finnegan's good.
The Braves did just see all their guys, though.
Yep. They're playing the division, though, so it's...
Yeah. All right. It would only be net. This isn't one of the 3 bets I have down, but at this number, I don't feel like you even have a choice. How could you bet? Could you put the poll up on the screen, Poppy? How could you bet the Braves at -195? They're not even hitting. So, Modi?
Yeah, Marcell Ozuna dong. He's one of my dong plays for today is Ozuna. He's like, even as home runs have been down, he's been really good for me specifically on the dong report. He's hit 4 in his last 2 weeks. Really good ISO rate, 31.3%. That's excellent. That's like top 20 in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. Barrel rate of 11.4%. Not in the excellent category, but still considered great. So not scared off there. His fly ball rate is a little bit lower than I'd like. It's at 40%, but his pull rate is up to 54.3%. That's really good. And Trevor Williams, I don't really know what to make of him because he's 32 years old and having the best year of his career by far. None of his advanced stats show that he's getting excessively lucky, but so maybe he is just figuring it out at 32 years old. Because if you look at his stats, he's not really someone that you would want to target for home runs. He's not that he doesn't give up any. He's just not someone that you would want to look at. Maybe he has some regression, or maybe he is just figuring it out. But regardless, I do think Ozuna should have some success against him. The 2 home runs that Williams has given up this year have been to righties. His hard hit rate and his fly ball rate are both higher against right-handed hitters. And last year, Ozuna was a lefty killer. This year, it's been the opposite. He's been much better against righties. ISO rate 31.9% against righties, up from 23.5% against lefties. Pull rate, fly ball rate, both higher against righties. And his hard hit rate is mostly equal. As I mentioned, he's hit 4 home runs over the last 2 weeks. All 4 have been against right-handed pitchers. So get Ozuna.
Ozuna dong plus 285. All right.
Jesus. It's like telling you he's going to hit one.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It's a short.
That's
price.
an expensive dong right there.
Well, it's super short.
When it's good.
That's a good thing. That's you see those numbers. That's like, yeah.
Toast. And I didn't bet this. I'm down 2. How the hell is this total not 10? Like, The Angels absolutely smoke lefties, and the Sandoval's going to give up 10 runs. So with 8.5, I had the under.
Sandoval's had some pretty good performances against the Yankees in Anaheim. I'm just saying, I'm not betting the Angels. I'm betting the Angels probably team total, but I don't know if I'm betting the Angels.
Well, okay, so hold on. Here's about the Angels, because obviously, get the Angels against a lefty. We know they smoke lefties, but a little difference, a little bit of a different situation than the other night when we took the Angels. Nestor Cortez struggles on the road. Rodon's been dealing on the road. In fact, his best starts have been on the road. So I'm not saying, the Angels won't get to him. I'm just saying it's a little different. It was the added element of Nestor Cortez struggles on the road. We don't have that here because Rodon's been a beast in his road starts. So that being said, the Angels are crushing every lefty they see. So can you put an over graphic up for me, Prop Beaver, please? So it would be over a pass for me. This was one I had down as a maybe. I was kind of waiting to see what these guys thought. Over a pass.
I have I can't argue with that at all. I might play that with you. I'm probably, like I say, guys, I've been up for like 10 minutes, but so some of the lines I gotta check them. But I'll be probably playing Angels team total over 3.5. You can get it at plus 105 on DK. Just going to continue to figure out ways to play the Angels versus left-handed pitching. Beaver did a really good job earlier this year illustrating that, and it has really been paying off over and over again every time that they've played left-handed pitching. So has Rondon been very, very good? Yes. But at the same time, he got smacked up by the Angels last year when he came into LA, 4 1/3, 4 hits on 6 runs. Previous to that, he hadn't faced them since 2018, so it really doesn't matter. But like I said, Sandoval did have 2 since 2022. He's faced the Yankees 3 times. He had 1 bad start in Yankee Stadium, but the 2 starts in Anaheim, 14 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. And I will give you that this Yankees team is hitting much better than they were last year and probably 2022. But the fact is that he's probably going to come in here with some confidence. But the Yankees have been like crushing everybody, so I get that. But I also will say that the Yankees are 31-13 versus right-handed pitching on the year. They're only 7-6 versus lefties. So it's definitely not the actual dominance that we might think it is. So I definitely won't argue an over, especially after we saw 2 kind of lower scoring games, especially yesterday. Like the Yankees have the bases loaded in the first inning, and then that Soto call with the interference, which is like an absolute joke. Great for our under, which was free there, by the way. But yeah, I think that we probably see some more runs here today. So Angels team total for sure, and I'll probably end up tailing toss with that over if I'm feeling it.
Apparently the audio issues came back. We were cruising there for a minute. I don't know what happened with that. But all right, Modi, I know you have a Aaron Judge dong.
Yeah, another Aaron Judge dong. And before you comment about the price, Caesars has this at plus 190. DraftKings at plus 190. ESPN plus 185. So plus 255 at FanDuel is actually a pretty good price when you line shop it and compare it to all the other books. And yeah, I mean, it's not a hard sell. Anytime you have Aaron Judge home run, it's going to feel really square. But 255 is pretty high compared to what he normally is. And he's now gone 3 games straight without a home run after I think he had one in 6 straight prior to that. And the stats are just ridiculous. Like everything across the board is absurd. 3rd highest ISO rate over the last 2 weeks, 53.5%. Barrel rate at 44.8% is crazy. That's the best in the MLB by far. And then if you look at the entire season, he leads the MLB in both of those categories, ISO rate and barrel rate, number 1 in the MLB. He has a fly ball rate of 62.1%. That's the 4th highest in the MLB over the last 2 weeks. Pull rate, 44.8%. His average exit velocity is 98.1 miles per hour, which is the 2nd highest in the MLB. So if you put all that together, he hits the ball, a lot of fly balls, high fly ball rate, hits the ball for a lot of power and gets solid contact. That's like perfect for home runs. I missed where my notes were. And then Patrick Sandoval isn't like a great pitcher. He's also not the worst pitcher specifically for home runs, but he also isn't really someone that would scare me. And I did look at like our friends at Ballpark Pal have this as a plus 10 advantage in favor of Judge. Judge dong. That's where we went.
Aaron Judge home run, and Prop Beaver's getting the poll up for this game right now. It's the last game. I think I might bet this over. The only thing that would hold me up is Rodon's excellent numbers on the road, but the Angels.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I really want to bet the Angels your money line here. I understand like everything about this, but what has Beaver also done a very good job of illustrating? The Yankees are streaky. they were scoring a lot of runs, right? They've scored 5 runs, 7 runs their last 3 games. So I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
Sandoval, no.
Throwing it out there.
All right. So what do we want to do? Because the audio is a little buggy. Do we want to try to do a community parlay or something?
It's your show.
Touche.
All right. Yeah, we could try to do a community parlay. It's just I don't know how it's going to work. Prop Beaver's going to have to do the whole thing. It's basically running polls. And so, all right. So Prop Beaver, all right. Start a poll. I'm going to read you off names. Let me know when you're ready. You got it, yeah. By the way, our community's betting the wow, there's a Q&A option? Are we going to do a Q&A one day? All right, so Brewers money line, Rays money line, Twins money line, Mariners money line. All right, first poll. Is it on the screen? Okay, so you know when you're waiting for it to minimize, you can double click it and skip that process. Watch, I'll show you next. Yeah, instead of sitting there for waiting, you run the poll and they click, and then it stops. We can end this poll already. It's Brewers by a mile. And so Brewers and Rays are possible, so we might come back to the Rays. So Brewers are 1. Toast, write that down or something.
Yep, got you.
All right. Next up, we're gonna do do they like the Tigers or Red Sox? I don't think we had the poll running at that time. They probably like the Tigers. So go Tigers money line, Diamondbacks money line, Nationals money line, and Yankees money line. There you go. So remember, we got Rays. Rays will be in the last poll because people like the Rays. All right, so that one's smoother than last time. And I think the audio would have been fixed if we set that up before you invited anyone in. I think we just fucked ourselves in the beginning. So I think if we set it up and then invited people in, that it would have ran smooth because it was really only the audio. Graphics ran smooth. Yeah, it's hard. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here. And Prop Beavers, this is only his like 3rd or 4th time doing it. So it went pretty.
You guys don't understand how easy Kyle makes everything look. Like I cannot stress that enough.
Yeah, there's a lot to run in this. I mean, there's a reason you don't see a lot of shows with all this on the screen. Like, there's a lot to it.
Like, I get credit for those spreadsheets. I did nothing. Kyle does everything. I literally just type in letters and push enter. Like,
yeah, those are smooth. So I can't even see because my screen's small. Who won that poll, Prop Beaver? It was
Tigers.
Oh, it's tight. All right, give it another 10 seconds because apparently
Tigers
is close.
Oh yeah, Tigers are taking some money though.
So get Tigers, and then all 4. So right now it's Brewers and Tigers, and then do Rays and those 3 teams that were 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and 1st and 2nd are going to make it. So Rays, D-backs, Yanks, Nats. So it's Brewers and Tigers, and then it's 1st and 2nd of this poll, and that's our community parlay. While this is running, you can get one of the tech up community parlay and enter Tigers and Brewers into it. You follow what I'm saying? No. So you can get the text on the screen, community parlay, Tigers money line, Brewers money line. You can get that started.
Who won the 3rd one? Arizona, right?
Usually pick one is set up for the community. All right. Usually I leave that as community parlay. But go ahead.
Arizona won the 3rd spot, right?
No, it's Brewers and Tigers so far. We're doing 1st and 2nd of this poll, but it's going to be Arizona. I can tell you right. It looks like it's Arizona, Yankees. Yeah, it's D-backs and Yankees.
Plus 951.
951. So the community parlay: Brewers money line, Tigers money line, D-backs money line, Yankees money line plus 951. Those properties now there it is. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to smooth out the second computer because I know it doesn't seem like it on your guys' end, but if I'm able to get Proppy or producing the show, that frees up a lot of my time to put out more stuff. And when my time gets freed up, I put out more content. So we're trying to get everything set up because the fall, I'm going to be pumping shit out like no one's ever. I'm breaking the internet this fall. Every single time getting capped on this channel.
All right, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I'm breaking it. So basically, I'm going to try to get Andy and Prop Beaver set up to produce the show because if they could do that, I could just cap, and just pump it out. That's the plan. So that went pretty smooth. I'll fix the audio issue today. Tomorrow, I'll be back at normal time, 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do the whole shebang. So have a great night. I'll post some MLB bets on the side. Oh, I actually already have mine up. I might add that Yankees Angels over. That's it. But the 3 bets I placed are already posted. Everyone have a great day. Remember to bet responsibly.
Stay goated.
Stay goated.
Stay goated.